Hey guys, I'm gonna be doing an entire voiceover of a match as I'm eating popcorn. I know some of you guys have been waiting for the second video. I just haven't gotten around to it because I haven't opened OBS to record a full match. So this is one of my personal favorite maps, only because The Thing is one of my favorite movies of all time. It's pretty cool. I've only seen it twice, but I still think of it as one of the coolest things ever. So right now I think I spawned at A or B, and I'm looking at it, I'm like, oh shit. This is fantastic. So it's basically a big line.
God, we have B, fellas.
You have to go through A to get to B, and it's all just one entrance. But there are more hazards than that to worry about. You've got the three windows if you count behind A, but no one really went for that this match. You got the two windows at B, and they'll be throwing a fuck ton of poison in there. And here I am claiming props. This is just to get things organized early on before things get too wild. And here I am picking up nails. You always want to be picking up nails if you're a cader because you run out so fast, especially if you're a main cader.
Hey.
I'm sorry if I talk really fast because there's a lot of things that happen in this match. Steamroller decided he wanted to cade this sigil as well. Which is fine, but he has a higher remort level than I do, and and that means you can't unnail his props. Or I can't unnail his props because I'm low remort, and I can't exactly cooperate with him because I'm a lower level. Now, I asked him verbally and in chat to heart me, but I don't know if he heard me or if he was just ignoring me, whatever. I don't really care because I found a way around it.
I'm standing still.
But I had a feeling that he was going to start claiming props, so I just started nailing stuff down pretty quickly anyway. There are only a few high remort level players that like to take props from other people. Steamroller's not one of them. In fact, he's not malicious at all this game. I still think it was just really annoying that he wouldn't nail hard me because there were some props that I needed to make a better cade. But
put your hands up. Oh, virus.
So eventually, here I go again.
Drop nails or die. You have 12 seconds.
Communicating with your fellow caders is very important.
Yeah, bring all the props in the sigil A and B.
I think that's the third time I asked him. And that's the third time he's denied me. So just as Peter denied Christ 3 times, Steamroller denied me 3 times.
DPS outside. Like the entire zombie team on my ass.
And I'm checking to see if I've got him hearted, and I do. So I've got the olive branch out there.
Somebody get the doors on the other side of this fucking map.
Trying to get him to heart me so that I can actually start using some props of his.
Oh
shit, I want this.
Be careful in the main hallway, they can drop out of the
But eventually I just get over it. This is still the prop organization phase, which doesn't usually last until wave 1, but Sane, I think he's a moderator.
Don't go that way, don't go that way.
I don't exactly remember. Oh, Rip Relic. He set up a really solid front cade, which is why later in the game he gets Barricade Master or Barricader or whatever, the award for it.
You don't have a fucking medic out here, you're losing your DPS. Because people are too scared to push out.
Let's see, just get everything nice and tidy. It doesn't have to be tidy, but it makes it easier for everyone to walk around and navigate where you are instead of
Yeah, sure.
tripping over everything. So here I am. Me and Steamroller decided that I'm going to cade in front of A and he's going to cade B.
Bring small props into.
And I'm sort of just looking around, trying to see what my options are. So you see me doing that little pivot when I'm looking at the doorways. That's me trying to see what line of motion the zombies are going to be coming from, so I know how to build the cade, because you want to build your barricade in relation to where the humans are going to be shooting at and where the zombies are going to be coming from. So this is probably one of the most important parts of the video, is setting the foundation prop. And usually I don't put a door as the foundation prop. The doors are usually, they're a little too weak, in my opinion. They're very strong in terms of their shape and usefulness, but they're not that great as a foundation prop, because, hurry, I'm checking it.
I'm gonna die to a
I don't think that's good enough yet. Is it?
Oh my god, no way.
Goodbye.
Don't let him kill, like, oh my god, there goes somebody.
Okay. So
That was easy.
I'm checking Steamroller's work.
Well, you fool, you should have went
It
the
was
other
good
way.
enough.
Just ran through like well, not 5 people, but
I'm looking around the props to
You're a
see what the
beast.
best
You should've went the
option
other
is
way.
for the top part of the cade. So the way that door is positioned on the bottom is off to the right a little bit. And if you look at the doors, like right in that room where we're facing right now, there are 2 doors that the zombies are going to be coming from, and that's directly forward. If you're looking at through that barricade, it's directly ahead of us and to the right. So I'm going to be putting all of the props more on the right side of the barricade, so that the humans can be on the left side and shoot down center or to the right door, because that's the only place they're going to be coming from.
y'all like gay?
Some zombies can hide on the left
Thank you, Cat Nicole.
if they're smart, but they don't really do that very often. But I also give humans some room on the right to like jump on and take care of the straggler zombies that are smart enough to do that.
Don't even know how to play Shade. Nope.
They die pretty quickly. So my foundational props really aren't that strong, but people underestimate the power of well-placed props. So you don't necessarily need the strongest foundational props if you don't have any. Like, ultimately, you just have to use what's around. And if you don't have a wardrobe or a shelf to use as a foundation prop, then it doesn't have to be. So those are the 2 foundation props, the door and the table. Both of them are positioned in a way where those 2 props have to die in order for anyone to get in. Or one of those 2 props have to die. So I'm going to do what I did last game, and I described in the last video when I staggered the wooden planks. I'm doing the exact thing right here, or that same exact thing. I feel like I'm stumbling over my words. It might just, be one of those days. This is one of those fucking door stagger strats. I see these get destroyed like super quickly sometimes. I see them lasting the entire wave. I don't know. They're good until wave 5.
Thanks, man.
Wave 5 is when the AoE fucking chem zombie melee shits happen, and then it just gets steamrolled.
You got my back.
No pun
and
intended.
I got yours.
So I'm just taking the props that I had nailed back there, just because I can't take Steamroller's props, and why would I? They're his props. And then someone just dropped some junk pack stuff, so I'm going to go ahead and claim those as quick as possible. 1, to make sure that no one else takes them. Steamroller. And another, just because everyone's tripping on them right now and just fucking grabbing it. Like, you can see they're grabbing them. Stop grabbing the props. Okay. People don't nail stuff to the ceiling very often, which I think is very strange, because it's like... It's the most convenient place to put props. They're not even on the wall, so you don't, like, latch onto them if you're trying to walk by. They're just on the ceiling. If you're a shooter, you don't even think about them. You probably won't even notice that bar, but it's still in the back of my mind just because I put it up there. The placement of this prop is awkward, but it gets the job done. It's protecting the that table from getting hit. And then this is going to be the third door. The third staggered door, so they have to get rid of all three doors in order to get rid of the bottom half of the cade. And I think I get another door in there. Looking home style pop secret popcorn. It's a nightly ritual, and I'm skinny as fuck. So those are my favorite chairs to work with. They're so small, and they've got I think they've got more health than the wooden ones. I don't know, but they fit together really nicely, and their hitboxes are like super simple and understandable. That was too far back. It was too far back for it to actually be worth anything, so I had to move it forward a little bit more. Maybe that's a little too far, but whatever. I don't want to spend too much time on it. Sane's cade in the front right there is really good. You know, props to him for giving me enough time to make this cade right here. Sane is the real MVP of this round. And then I think this is where I get the chairs in. You know, I put them on the right side because, again, you still have to keep in mind that people are trying to be shooting out of the left side of it. And it's really funny trying to get props in the right position sometimes, because you gotta, like, jump up and do some weird shit. Like, I have to jump in order to pick this up because you can't pick up props that you're standing on. And then I just figured out that you have to fucking suit zoom in order to do that. So that chair right there is protecting the fourth door. And then I'm going to put two more chairs on top of it.
Yeah, please.
This is mostly what main cading is. You're sort of just zoning out and making the perfect little
Going to green gas.
fort. It's like building a fort in your living room, dude.
Thank you.
Looking Pepe dunce hat. Yeah. That might be one of the best cades I've made to shoot out of. Like, if you were to stand right in front of that doorway, you'd have a good shot out of both zombie entrance points. Which is pretty cool. Pretty cool. Fit the fucking barrel through. Then I'm like, nah, I'll just save that for later. I eventually use all the props back here. Or, most of them anyway.
Prepare the board, prepare the board, prepare the board. No.
This episode isn't as eventful, but I think it's still useful just to watch a cader demonstrate their habits.
No, I pushed up.
You don't really need to devote so much attention to the top part of the cade if you build it right. Like, I positioned the top part of my cade high enough to where they don't even have to crouch to get under it. But it's still important to, you know, reinforce it because if they were to destroy it, they'd be able to jump, crouch, and get in. But if you make the top part of the cade high enough, they won't even bother attacking it because it's annoying to attack it. And then you can just focus on putting heavy-duty props on the bottom. So if you only have one spot on the barricade to worry about, then it just makes it a whole lot easier and streamlined when you're trying to replace props. Because if you're trying to replace the top and bottom, it just makes it a clusterfuck, a clustercluck. Sorry if my popcorn ASMR is annoying. I'm not even going to edit it. I'm not going to do a retake. Fuck that. And here I am, holding shift, looking at all this stuff. I'm considering doing a nanite. But not just yet. I'm going to wait until... oh yeah, Arsenal crate. I want to talk about the correct time to use nanite bombs. I'm not sure people know when to use them. Sorry, when I swish water, I'm also getting popcorn out of my teeth. You want to use them when a barricade is in the middle of being attacked. Because it's not just about repairing or mass repairing props, it's also during the duration of the repairing process, the AoE repairing, there's I think a damage mitigation buff put on all the props in the radius. So like right now, if I do this, I'm getting all those point floaters, I'm getting points for that. And all of the props in the radius. It affects the props out there and my cade. All the props in the radius get the damage mitigation buff, which I think is 50%. And that's what everyone looks like. Everyone's huddled in here because they don't really need to be anywhere else. You know, that prop right there is a little ballsy to try and repair because it's really far out there. But because I'm tucked to the left, it's a little bit harder for them to hit me. Like, I just got hit right there, and I think I'm going to get hit again, and I'm going to learn my lesson. But yeah, I should have gotten an electro hammer by now. Well, I didn't front cade, so I don't have a whole lot of points to spare. But I think this is a pretty healthy cade. Like, you have both doorways in view, it's pretty nice. Very nice. I like to buy the nanite bombs sometimes before I even need to use them, because what I see a lot with the grenades is when people start getting desperate. Oh, look at those point floaters. That's so sexy. Because when people start getting desperate, they start buying all the grenades. And then before you even know it, there were like 8 grenades left in stock, and then they're all gone. But specifically for the nanites, I like to buy them in advance so that I don't have to be disappointed when it comes time when we actually need one, and then there's just none left in stock. Let's heal Chef Nut real fast. Clear out my inventory. keep it nice and minimal. Pay no attention to my 8 skill points that I don't have spent. I don't even know what to do with them. I just get handy in stockpiling and preparedness. That's all I really need because I just barricade. I don't even know why it's so entertaining to me. That prop isn't actually like supposed to mean anything. It's just supposed to fuck with the abyss lurkers, the crawlers, and they will get healed by the AOE healing eventually. And you just, if your cade is strong enough, you can just keep replacing the front like it's no problem, like what I'm doing right now. Like, the two elements of a good cade is, actually, well, I was gonna say a good cade and good DPS. That's just the elements of having a good team, but the elements of having a good cade is, one, having props. You gotta have a good quantity of props. That's why everyone brings props to the sigils at the beginning of the round. Two, they gotta be good props. So, things that you can actually maneuver, like doors. I really like the wardrobes. Not the wardrobes, the smaller brown shelves, not the really big like square ones, but the ones that are shaped almost like a door. So I'm doing something a little weird here. Some people would think I'm weird for doing this, because I'm a weirdo. But I wanted to reposition that so I could get a more sturdy prop in its place. And these wooden beams, I love using these wooden beams, they're so fucking convenient. This is my personal favorite prop right there. They're so fucking cool. Use them for almost anything. Once you have a way to do an area of effect repair, like the electro hammer I got, and I've overspent my resupply stock on getting pulse ammo because I just didn't want to have to worry about getting pulse ammo for AoE. So I just leave it on area repair. I don't even deactivate it. But yeah, you can put props sticking out of the cade a little bit if you have area of effect repair. Because you can heal them just by healing the inner props. And we're at wave 5, so the chem zombies are coming out. You're going to start seeing you need AoE repairs. Because zombies now AoE melee. Here I am just getting the remaining scrap for my fucking shit. That's all I really need to buy for cading, if I'm main cading. I like it a lot more when I get Matt March, because he gets the fucking repair field. I don't really have to worry about repairing that much. And take a look at this. We've got like 3 force fields back here just because we've got Bilemeyers vomiting up a storm back there, killing all the AFKs. I was never really back in that room. My business was at the front of the cade. I didn't really have to worry about that other stuff. was that prop? That prop didn't matter. It was probably like 500 health in total anyway. And I figured I'd just patch up this barricade back here. Just in case we need to fall back on it. Then I want to know it's in good hands. No, I think this is where I do the double take. No. I'll do the double take later. And see, that cade is still up. I don't think any of the doors have fallen at this point. Not even the chairs. And it's all because I positioned it in such a way that you can still just shoot out of it so conveniently. If you can kill the zombies before they even reach the cade, that's the ideal way to... Oh, fuck, those point floaters. It's so sexy. Look at that. Yeah, if you can kill the zombies before they even reach the cade, you don't even need the fucking barricade. Like, most of this round is bullet cading. Not to say they didn't need my barricade, but... yeah, damn. One of the best looking cades I've done in a while. It's a shame that I didn't record any of my other barricades, because I don't always have OBS open recording. And this cade is very similar to the one I did last time, because again, they're not coming in from the left. I didn't plan on it being that way. I even did the skinny prop stagger thing again, and it doesn't really give you much new insight on how to construct a barricade. Maybe I'll make sure it's different in the next episode, but again, as I was saying, if you're a new barricader, it's good just to see what a good barricader looks like from their perspective. And then I do a double take. I'm like, wait, there's no name on those doors. Where did Steamroller go? And then I see none of his props have his name on it, and I'm like, oh shit. Like, okay. When no one's name is on the prop, there's no more ownership, no one can complain about it. It's like, fucking whatever. I only needed one anyway. I guess I was prop stealing for a second. But I patch it up in a better way anyway. So we've got that one. I can use that one later. I don't know what I'm doing there. I sort of just do things before I even think. Yeah, there we go. I like the double barrel on the top thing. In my opinion, that's the best use for barrels. Just putting them beside each other on the top part of the cade, on each side of the top foundational prop. A bunch of confusing cading jargon, but it makes sense to me. No. At this point, I know we're going to win because we have this entire cade that's held out for the entire game without losing a single prop, except maybe like one or two or three of the super far front small prop stuff. So looking at the kill feed, we've got a Wonder Waffle, we've got a couple grenade launchers, we've got ray guns, we've got boomsticks, we've got Tracer, with the pumpkin helmet. Yeah. These sigils are lucky, he said. A good sigil can be lost by a bad barricader. A good sigil can be lost with a bunch of bad DPS. Bulk is a good shooter. Sane got a lot of points because not only was he shooting, but he was also filling the front cade. He's a pretty good player. So, getting points as a barricader is really awkward because right there you've been awarded 8 points for constructing barricades. The points come in relative to how much damage your barricades took at each point calculation interval. I don't know how long the intervals are. I should probably know by now, but the intervals, or you get points at intervals, and if your barricades didn't take any damage during that interval of time, then you don't get any points. But say you have an entire barricade with like 20 props on it, gets overrun in one time interval, you're gonna get like a 100 to 200 point payoff. Which is pretty flippin' cool. And here I am looking at nothing that's going out there. Got a lot of head crabs coming in. There's like 3 Bilemeyers in there. Out there. Let's go back to my barricade. Stupid. It's wave 6, I know we're gonna win, so I'm just dicking around at this point. There isn't really much I can do about those head crabs besides buy another zapper, but those are 30 points and I'm 19 points behind. Yeah. I don't think I've ever been killed by a head crab. I mean, that guy just did. I didn't get that punch kill, did I? I don't think I did. Just fucking explode. See my terrible shooting skills while I'm a barricader. Yeah, so for that round we didn't lose either A or B because I got a good enough barricade at the front of A. Yeah. Hopefully you picked something up by watching this video. Oh, look at those point floaters! I love nanites that do that. Normally I get a pretty meaty det pack, but it doesn't really happen this round. Just wait until they burst in and then run out. Yeah, I don't know if the zombies were just stupid or if human team was actually pretty good that round, but... Or if the sigils were just OP. I don't know.
Scott.
Well, thanks for watching. I'll have another one up pretty soon. And hopefully it'll be a different barricade than this one. Resident Sleeper.